Hey guys, it's Heather from Kellofaplan, and today I am filming a special video. This is a Q&A video where I allowed you guys to submit questions that you have for me, and I am going to answer them. So we got about a little over 50 questions submitted. I don't know if I'll be able to get through them all because that would be a really long video, but I'm going to do as many as I can. So there were 3 categories for these questions that you could submit, and the 3 categories were personal questions, planning questions, and questions about my Lularoe business. So I thought I would start with planning questions just because that is the most relevant to my channel, and then I will move to personal questions and questions about my Lularoe business. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna read the question and I'm gonna tell you who submitted it. I'll tell you their first name and their Instagram name in case you want to go follow them. But our first question is from Susan, Susan Stahl Smith is her Instagram name, and she says, how do I edit and print pictures to fit my memory keeper or planner? She just got a Selfie and could use some help. Hi Susan, so I don't actually use a Selfie, so that's a printer. If you don't know, that's a type of printer. So I'm not exactly sure how to tell you how to use the Selfie printer. I'm sure there's lots of YouTube videos on that, but I personally don't know how. I personally, in case you're curious, when I print my pictures for my memory planner, I use an app on my phone called Collage app, and or maybe it's just called Collage, and I turn them into, I put 4 pictures into a 4x6, and then I print the 4x6 at Walgreens. So you could probably do something similar to that with your Selfie. So create a collage on your phone with 4 pictures on a 4x6 and then print it on your Selfie. And if you print 4 to a 4x6, then they will fit beautifully in those boxes. And I have a video on my channel on how to do that. So I will try to remember to link that video below. If I forget to link it, you guys can just let me know. So our next question is from Cami at the_planner_addict. And she says, what days do you post certain hashtags such as before the pin, midweek spread, and other basic ones? So I also have a video on this. It's called Planner Hashtags. I'll also try to link it below. But I personally have a few that I use. On Sundays, I always post my before the pin in my classic planner. So I use hashtag before the pin. On Mondays, I try to always do hashtag Mini Mania Monday, and that's for your mini planner. On Tuesdays, I try to do hashtag Mamby Quote of the Week, where you take a picture of a quote from a Mamby planner or sticker book and you share that. Wednesdays, I usually do my midweek after the pen. Thursdays, I don't really have one that I necessarily do. I just post kind of my own things on Thursdays. On Fridays, there's Fun Corner Friday, which you post a cute corner from your planner. On Saturday, I usually do after the pen for the completed week in my planner. And then on Sundays, I'm back to before the pen in my classic planner. So those are the ones that I always do, and then I kind of just incorporate my own stuff in between. And I have a video on a lot of other planner hashtags that you can check out, and I'll try to remember to link that below. Our next question is from Vanessa, and her Instagram is Plans with Nessa. Her question is, what is your opinion of Franken planning? I personally think it's genius, but I don't necessarily do it. So if you don't know what Franken planning is when you take lots of pieces of different planners and you put all of them together into one big planner. And it's really great, especially for those ladies who want just one planner. So you could maybe take a month from your budget planner, a month from your fitness planner, a month from your classic planner, put them all into one planner and you're Franken planning. It's a great solution for people who only want one planner. I personally, my mind works where I need them to be separated, and so I don't Franken plan because I like to know that this planner right here has everything I need for social media, and this planner right here has everything I need for my catch-all planner, and this planner right here is my memory planner or whatever. I personally don't Franken plan, but I have lots of friends who do, and I think the most important thing is just to do what works for you. So our next question is from Ataya. I hope I said your name right. Her Instagram is Postal Planner, and her question is, how long did it take you to get the hang of hand lettering, and do you recommend a specific book to use? So I have kind of always loved hand lettering, even though I didn't realize that that's what I was doing. Ever since probably high school, maybe even middle school, I would see fonts or people's handwriting, and if I loved it, I would try to copy it. And so I would just look at it, and then I would practice making my handwriting look just like that. So I've probably been practicing it for 15 to 20 years. And the biggest thing with hand lettering is you need to practice. And you need to figure out your style and do what works for you. I have 4 or 5, I can't remember, hand lettering videos on my YouTube channel. And I also have a video about hand lettering with my favorite brushes and my favorite books. And so I already have that all in a video. I will try to remember to link that. I think that this could potentially be a lot of linking of videos, but I will do my best to remember to link that in the description so that you can watch that. The next question is from Tiffany. Her Instagram name is tiffany.center. And her question is, how did you discover the Happy Planner, and have you used any other planner besides the Happy Planner? So I actually discovered the Happy Planner in 2015. It was August 2015, and I think they had come out in April, but I'd never heard of them. And I was teaching a training for my school district that I worked for at the time, and there was a teacher in the audience who had a Happy Planner. And there was like 5 or 6 of us teaching this training, and so I only taught a small portion, and the rest I was kind of walking around and monitoring. And when I was walking around, I kept noticing this planner, and everyone at her table around her was like, oh my god, what is that planner? And everyone was looking at it, and finally I was like, can I look at that planner? And it was amazing. She had the gold dots cover. I don't know if anyone remembers that from the first generation of Happy Planners, but it was the one with the gold dots, and I was in love with it. And I went to Michael's like 20 times looking for it. I later found out that it was a Hobby Lobby exclusive, which is why it was never at Michael's. And then my Michael's was always sold out of them, because back then there was only like 50 Michael's in the whole country that carried Happy Planners. It wasn't at every single Michael's. And so they were always sold out. And then finally they came back in stock. And I remember it was like probably mid-September, and I called my husband. I'm like, I'm at Michael's and these Happy Planners are back in stock. And he's like, oh my gosh, will you please just buy the freaking planner? And so I bought it and gone down a rabbit hole ever since. And then she also asked, have I ever used any planners besides a Happy Planner? And the answer to that is yes. I think I've always tried to use a planner starting in elementary school. My elementary school gave us agendas, and we were required to write in them and keep up with our day and stuff in them. And so I loved that, but I didn't decorate them. And so I started decorating my planner probably with the Happy Planner. And for the couple of years before the Happy Planner, I always just bought like a day designer at Target or whatever Target's brand was at the time. And I would like write everything for the whole year in it. And I'd be like, yes, I'm going to use this planner. It's going to be awesome. And I would use it for like 2 weeks, and then it would go on the shelf and I would never touch it again. And so the fact that the Happy Planner brought in that decorative element was really what pushed me to, I think, keep coming back to it. So that's a good question, Tiffany. Thank you for asking it. May from Hello May Blog says, what are your planner essentials for international planners who are paying more for products? I think that the essentials is a pen. My personal favorite is a Papermate Flare, and just a few of the sticker books. You don't need all of them. I have all of them, but you don't need all of them to plan effectively. I have a video on my top 5 favorites, especially for newbies, and so I will also link that video below. But I think if you have a pen and those 5 books, then you're really good to go. And I think that the biggest thing, especially for people who maybe don't have the money to buy it all, or who are international and can't afford the shipping all the time, is to just remember that you don't have to have it all. It's really just about having a planner that works for you. So, all right, Andy from Andy_reads says, I'm new to using the Happy Planner. Do you have any tips on spreads or inserts for someone that wants to use the planner to track reading, book, blog posts, and booktube video schedules? I used to use a bullet journal, but I just don't have a lot of time to create spreads from scratch. I love your beautiful weekly spreads, but I need more functional space. Andy, I think that a solution to your problem could be that you could try the add-in pages, the note pages, and just kind of make your own. There's lots of stickers with little books on them, and so you could use that to track your books. I have started using the new teacher planner for my social media planner, and so you could also maybe do something like this. So when you get the teacher planner, it's actually dated on the side, and then these are blank up here. But I knew that wouldn't work for me because it's only dated Monday through Friday, and I needed Saturday and Sunday too. So I covered those up with the colorful box stickers, and then I wrote the dates on the top, and then that way it goes through Sunday. But here you could put reading, book posts, booktube video schedules. You could just determine for yourself what each row is going to be. And you can see that this is super functional. I do have stickers in it, but they're super functional stickers because I need it. This is like my work planner, my social media get things done planner. And so it's more functional than decorative. So that might be an idea for you. And I have a video on my YouTube channel on how I set this up as well. So, next question is from Lee, from Lily_makes_a_plan. Lots of underscores, Lee. She says, what do you use to photograph and to film for YouTube? How do you edit for YouTube? That's a good question. So, when I photograph my photos, I just use my iPad. Oh, I'm filming on my iPad. I'm sorry. Let me start over. When I do my photographs for Instagram, I just use my phone, my iPhone, not my iPad. So I have a video. I feel like I have a video for everything. I have a video already showing you guys how I edit my photos for Instagram. I will try to link it below. I feel like I'm going to have to rewatch this just to remember like what all videos need to be linked. So that is how I edit. I take them on my Instagram and I use PicTapGo to edit. For my YouTube videos, I just use my iPad. I have an iPad Pro and I have a tripod. And so I just film on my iPad. I edit it in iMovie and then I upload it. I don't do anything super fancy. I know there's probably a lot fancier ways to get your videos done, but I try to get them done quickly because I try to put up a video every day and that's a lot of work. And so it's just faster for me to just film it on my YouTube or on my iPad and just upload it from there. So our next question is from Michaela, and she is Mimi Baby on Instagram. And she says, where can I find a shelf similar to the one your stickers are on? So my stickers are in this, I don't know if y'all can see it, this little movable shelf. There's 3 rows and it's angled so you can easily see your pictures. And I got that at Home Goods. And you know, Home Goods, they never have the same thing. It really depends on when you go, but I feel like they always have similar things to that. So even if they don't have the exact same one, they'll probably have something similar. So I got that at Home Goods. Rachel from Better Rachel says, are you ever going to change your yellow discs? Here are my yellow discs on my lovely planner. I personally love the yellow disc, and I know that some of you are tired of them, but it's a good thing it's not your planner because it's my planner, and I love the yellow discs, and that's all that matters. And I'm not ever going to take the yellow disc off of this planner. I have kind of loved challenging myself to put yellow in every spread, and I just really, really love this planner. It makes me really happy. And so I haven't quite decided yet if I'm going to continue this planner for the whole year or if I'm going to end in June and move to another planner for my catch-all planner. I haven't made that final decision yet. If I stay with this planner, then the yellow disc will stay through the end of the year. If I move to another planner, then the yellow disc will be retired, at least for a little bit. So I have not made that decision yet. Brooke and Lydia from Brooke and Lydia Plans wants to know if you could only keep one sticker book, which one would it be? Currently, it would be this one. The new seasonal sticker book is life. It is so good. It's got functional stickers. It's got decorative stickers. The designs are amazing. The colors are amazing. It would be this one. This is my new favorite sticker book. That one is at michaelsandthehappyplanner.com. Laura from Created by His Grace has 3 questions. So I'm just going to highlight all of these so that we can do these next. Her first question, which of your planners is your favorite to use and to use one more than the other? This is the most important planner to me. It's my catch-all planner. It has everything that's important that's happening. So this is probably my favorite one to use. And I probably use it more than the others just because it has day-to-day stuff in it. Although this one is this is my first week to use a social media planner. And it is literally planning out my whole life. And so this one is also super important to me. When and where do you like to plan? I plan all the time. And I plan here in my office. This is my new office space, and this is where I plan. I don't really like to move my planner stuff around because I have it nice and organized, so I try to just stay in here. And then she wants to know, what happy planner size would you recommend for planner newbies? I would recommend probably the classic. And that's only because most of the accessories are sized for the classic, and so it's really easy to kind of figure out what works for you. And then once you've planned in the classic, you kind of know, do I need less space? If so, you can move to the mini, or do I need more space, in which case you can move to the big, or is this plenty of space, in which case you can just stay. So I would suggest the classic size for newbies. Dana from My Scrapped Life wants to know, what is your weekly YouTube to-do list? What is your setup for creating YouTube videos? And what software do you use for editing? So my weekly YouTube to-do list is, I try to film. It's kind of changing now because now I'm full-time Lula and full-time YouTube. So I have a lot more time to devote to planning. So in the past, it would be like, I'd come home from work and my goal would be to film one video right when I got home from work. That way I would have, one for the next day. But now that I have more time, I'm trying to do more of film every other day. So, and film more than one at a time. So like you can see here on Monday, I had several things that I wanted to film. This is my filming schedule. But on Tuesday, I didn't have anything, so I just put a sticker. Wednesday is when I'm filming this Q&A. Thursday, I have another long list. And then Friday, I don't have anything, so I just made a note about calling one of my friends about a YouTube video we're going to do together. And then I haven't planned Saturday and Sunday yet because it will depend on how this to-do list goes on what needs to happen on Saturday and Sunday. So it's kind of just what work, like, I don't know that I have a set schedule yet, but it's only my first week doing it full time. So I'll have to kind of figure out my schedule as I go. Her other question is, what is your setup for creating YouTube videos? So I have a desk here, I have a tripod and an iPad, and so I use my tripod and my iPad to film, and then I just use iMovie on my iPad to edit it. Super simple. I'm not super fancy. Yeah. Whew, I should have brought a water in here. Tabitha from Adore It All Love wants to know, how do you find balance in having a decorative but functional planner? That's a really good question. So here, it is decorative, but it's also functional. So I think one of the big things is to think what days might not be as busy, and that's where you put box stickers. I wouldn't put tons of box stickers because then you don't have as much functional space. And then I do lots of checklists. I just try to really look at what I'm doing that week and not over decorating it. You want it to, I pick 2 or 3 colors. This one has a few more because I'm going off the colors in this sticker, but picking a few colors and going off of those, but not going crazy, and really using your checklist and your icon stickers to help make it functional. So I hope that helps. What inspired you to start planning? This question is from Jasmine at Craft and Jazz. What inspired you to start planning? Well, to start happy planning, I had just accepted a new position at work. I was going from a classroom teacher to an instructional specialist, and the position wore a lot of different hats. And I knew that it was going to be really overwhelming and hard to keep up with. And I had to keep everything digitally on my work calendar for my coordinator, but I'm the kind of person that's really forgetful. And if I don't write it down, then I'm going to forget about it. And so I knew that I needed a planner for that position, and that's what took me to the Happy Planner, and I've just kept planning since then. Amber from Planner Babe Thorn says, tell us about your organization for your new office. Okay, I have a video up for that. That was posted yesterday, so you can go check that out on my new and improved office tour, and you can see all about my organization. All right, Elaine from Planning Lane wants to know, how do I film my videos? Tips for making planner videos, your setup, that type of thing. So I've already talked about that a little bit, so I'm going to address the part where it says tips for making planner videos. I think that one of my biggest tips would be to look at what you bring to the planner community and make videos about that, so that you stand out a little bit more than other planner YouTubers, and so that people will want to come watch you. Like if I only did plan with me videos, I don't think that people would like my channel as much as they do. I think people like my plan with me videos, but I think the fact that I offer lots of other ways to use your happy planner is another reason that people like my channel. And so I think it's important to just kind of get creative about what kind of videos you're gonna make. Kendra from Planner Fanatic. Planner Fanatic. It's spelled planner _ FUH _ nat _ IK. So, Planner Fanatic. That's hilarious. Her name's Kendra, and she wants to know, how do you keep from getting burned out or bored with planning? If you're getting burned out, I would say that maybe you're trying to use too many planners. That's really easy if you're trying to juggle like 6 planners. And so when I feel myself starting to get burned out, I just say, which one of these planners is not helping me to plan a life that I love? Which one is not? It's just kind of a foo-foo planner. It's not super important. And then I just push it to the side. And like, for example, my Lularoe planner was just, it was cute and I liked decorating it, but the function of it wasn't really working. And I found that I was still putting the stuff that mattered for Lularoe into my catch-all planner. So it was like kind of pointless. And so I just kind of was like, okay, I'm just not going to do it anymore. So I think one part of not getting burned out is really looking at your setup and making sure that it works for you. And getting bored with planning, I would say if you're getting bored, try something new. Try some new stickers. Join one of the challenges that's happening on Instagram like all the time. I feel like there's always a challenge going on. Watch some Plan With Me videos and get inspired and just find something new. So, all right, some of these questions are starting to be repetitive. Like I've already answered them. Like Dawn is asking, how did you start planning and what inspired you? Which I already talked about. Sid from Pretty Chick SW wants to know if managing multiple planners is difficult and is it effective, because she's struggling to expand and she just wants to keep everything in her big planner. Sid, if you want to keep everything in your big planner, keep everything in your big planner. You don't have to have multiple planners. I have multiple planners because that's how my brain works, but even then I've narrowed it down to, I'm currently using 4 planners, and one of them, I'm really only using 3 planners. And so do what works for you. And if it's not effective or if it's too difficult, then do something else. As long as it works for you, then that's all that matters. Sid also wants to know, how do I plan to plan? She wants her planner to look pretty and be functional, but actually help her to be productive. Do I set aside days and times to get your planner together? That's a good question. So either on Fridays or Saturdays is when I decorate my planner for the week before. And then Sunday nights I usually fill in Monday through Wednesday. And Wednesday nights I usually fill in Thursday through Friday. That way I'm not super overwhelmed with everything that I'm doing that week, but I also know that it's getting planned. So, what advice... Phyllis from Phyllis Scully, what advice do you have for using a planner with shaded weekends? My advice would be to choose colors for the week that play off of the shaded weekend and just include it as part of your decor. I love shaded weekends. Love them. Okay, we're almost done with the planning portion of these questions. Vanessa from Plans by Nessa said, have you ever used a vertical planner for work? I'm a school admin and I really need ideas. Yes, I used a hourly vertical this past couple of months, but it's really hard for me to share pictures of that because work planners I feel like are just a little more personal. They have teacher names, they have school names, they have student names. So it's just really hard for me to actually share how I was using my planner at work, but I have used it. I think that you just need to really look at what's functional for you. And box stickers will probably save your life. So, Noir from Noir Plans says, how did your planning style evolve with time? And how did you find your inspiration to come up with the prettiest spreads? My planning style has evolved over time because I think it's kind of evolved with the planning trends. So when I first started, washi tape was really big in the planner world and there weren't really a lot of stickers. And so when you look at my first planner, it was like washi-fied. It was covered in washi. But then as soon as the sticker book started coming out, you see my style shift and I'm using less washi and more stickers. And so now it's still really sticker based. And so that's kind of how my planning style has evolved. I think it's just evolved with the products that are coming out. And I find inspiration for my spreads usually by just picking one sticker and then a sticker that I really like and then planning my spread from that sticker using colors or designs that go along with that one sticker. Karina from Karina Plans says, how do you get ideas for what to plan for the week? Well, I just kind of think about all the things that I need to do and I plan for them. So I have a video called Things to Track in Your Planner, and I think if you watch that video, it'll help you come up with some things to plan for your week. Zoe from F1 Zobo says, I'm a happy planner newbie this year and I'm already in love with it, but do you have any tips on how to decorate or where you position your stickers on a vertical layout? So yeah, Zoe, I use a vertical layout, so you could go watch any of my Plan With Me videos and you will see how I position my stickers on a vertical layout. Rachel from Rachel Ditrich says, if you could use just one Happy Planner sticker pack for the rest of your life, which would you pick and why? Well, it's really hard to commit to one for the rest of my life because the Happy Planner is going to keep coming out with good stickers. But if I had to pick one like for the rest of June, then I would pick this one. I said this earlier. I am crushing hard on this sticker book right now. It is so good. Like I love that it's seasonal, but it also has so many functional stickers in it and it's so beautiful and the colors are amazing. It would be this one. I'm obsessed with it right now. JC from Miss Smith 3 says, you make beautiful spreads, but do you ever put a couple stickers down and start to hate it? If so, do you try to fix it or do you just roll with the ugly? That's a good question. I do hate it sometimes. And I say, sometimes you'll watch my videos and if you watch until the end, I'll say, I'm just not that crazy about this. But I usually just roll with it, mainly because to me, it's a planner and it's purpose is to make my life organized, and even if it's ugly, I can still write in it and have an organized week. And a lot of times I like it a lot better once I add my writing to it. So I usually just roll with it, and if you hate it, then guess what? You get to turn the page the next week and you don't ever have to look at it again. Or you can look at it 2 years later and laugh about it, because that's what I do sometimes. Okay. Cheryl from Lady with Chalkin wants to know, how many different planners do you use, what size are they, and what do you use them for? So right now I'm using a classic catch-all planner. Everything important goes in it. I'm using and that's a classic size social media planner. I have a classic size faith journal. I have a mini planner that I use for errands and on the go, and I have a big memory planner. Tiffany from Coffee for Tiffany wants to know, have you ever thought about doing sped up playing with me videos with a voiceover? No. I have had very few people ask for that. And the reason I say no is because for me, I call it a plan with me video because I want people to feel like they're planning with me. And I feel like if I'm speeding it up and doing a voiceover, it just seems really produced. And it doesn't seem like you're planning with me. It seems like you're watching me plan, but not planning with me. So I really like the fact that I talk with you while I'm planning and I tell you what I'm thinking and what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, because I think that I imagine some of y'all planning with me. Like my video comes out and you pull out your planner and you're planning while you're watching me, and so it feels like you're planning with me. It feels like I'm talking to you, and so I really like that, and that's my personal preference, and that's what I want from my channel. I know that there's plenty of channels that speed them up and do voiceovers, and that's awesome for them, but that's why I do it the way I do it, and I don't plan to change that, at least not anytime soon. Amanda wants to know what got you into planning. We already answered that question. Alana from Planning with A wants to know, how old were you when you started planning? I was in elementary school the first time I ever had a planner, and I was 27 when I got a Happy Planner for the first time. Rose from Print Ideas Online. Sorry, sometimes when they're all meshed together, I have to read it. Okay. What equipment do you use to film your videos and take your pictures, and can you show us the process? So we talked about that earlier. I use my phone to take pictures. I use my iPad to film videos. All right, so those are all of the questions about planning. Now we're going to do the personal questions about my personal life. I'm kind of nervous because I haven't read through all of these. So hopefully this goes okay. Okay. Mary from Low Mary 628 says she has 2 questions. Her first question, is your twin sister into planning and as creative as you? No. For those of you who don't know, I have a twin sister. Her name's Holly, and she is not into planning at all. I have probably given her 5 happy planners total over the past 2.5 years, and I don't know if she's ever written in any of them. She's just doesn't get it. She's always like, I don't get this. She is not creative at all. I will say that when she had my niece 2.5 years ago, that all of a sudden she started sewing, and I was like, she was like sewing clothes. I was like, who are you? What did you do with my sister? Because like, she's the least creative person ever. I think in the womb, I must have just sucked all the creativity and just left her. Question number 2, did you really have to enter to be on the squad goals team since you're so awesome and they know it? Well, thanks for saying that, but yes, we did have to re-enter and do the same process as everybody else. So, yeah. Savannah from Save May 04 said, I just asked this on one of your YouTube videos, so I'm going to ask here too. You never really talk about kids besides your niece, so I was curious if you and Matthew want to have kids. Well, me and Matthew would love to have kids. Matthew has wanted kids since I met him, and I think I've always wanted to be a mom. We've been married for 3 years and like 2 months, and we don't have any kids yet, but we hope that it does happen someday. So that's like a super personal question. May from Hello May Blog says, I also have a twin sister. Does your twin have the same interest in planning, fashion, and faith? Planning, no. Fashion, she's probably gonna kill me for saying this. She sells clothes with me. So she is into fashion in the sense that we sell clothes together, but I don't want to say more fashionable clothes than her because we wear the same. We both wear Lularoe clothes, but I am more likely to show up to an event in a dress and a skirt, or dress or a skirt, and she's more likely to show up to an event in leggings and a shirt. So, yeah. And faith, yes, we both have the same interest in faith. Jamie from Jamie Orell says, if you don't live in Alabama, how did you get to be an Alabama football fan? I am from Alabama, and I love Bama football. That's a good question. I'm actually from Alabama, too. I was born in Birmingham, born and raised there. I graduated from high school just outside of Birmingham, and I went to the University of Alabama for elementary education. I graduated in 2009, and when I graduated, the state of Alabama wasn't really hiring teachers. They were really firing teachers. They had a lot of budget cuts, and so there just weren't a lot of jobs. And so my older brother was about to marry a girl from the Dallas area. Her father was an interim superintendent for a school district here, and when I found out how much more teachers got paid in Texas, my sister and I both said, deuces Alabama, and we moved to Texas, and that was 9 years ago. 10 years ago. 9 years ago. So, been here ever since. Karina from Karina something, a Tamayo 20, I don't even know how to read that, says, what got you to finally take the plunge and quit your full-time job? My husband and I had been talking about it for a couple of months, and when Lularoe and YouTube combined were making more money than my full-time job was when we really started talking about it, but it wasn't really serious talk. It became serious when my position was cut in early March, and they told us that it would be cut at the end of the year. And so that made me and Matthew really talk, like, do I want to go back in the classroom? Do I want to move to a different district? Or do I just want to quit? And so we looked at our finances and decided, let's just do it. Robin from rcrab2tim17, how do you prioritize your daily devotion journaling time? Robin, I'm not going to lie, some days it's really hard because some days are just really busy. But what I have found works for me is to do it right before bedtime. So I keep it on my bedside table, and normally my husband and I both take showers at night, and so I usually take the first shower, and then he goes to take a shower, and while he's in the shower is usually when I do my devotion. Morgan also wants to know if I plan on having kids, but we already talked about that. Jasmine from Craft and Jazz wants to know, how has your planner helped strengthen your relationship with God? I think that in the past, I really struggled with making my devotions a priority, but I'm the kind of person that I can't have a blank planner. That drives me crazy, and so it really pushes me to do my devotions so that I can fill in my planner, which is probably weird, but it's true. And so I've been able to just really stick to like devotions and Bible studies and stuff like that. So that's really helped me. Teresa wants to know, why did you stop teaching? There's a video on that. Look up the video. I'll put it in the description. It's, I quit my job. That's the name of the video. And yeah. Apparently all of you guys want to know about me having kids, because here's another question. Do you and Matthew want to have kids? If so, how many? Matthew wants to have 2. I want to have 2 or 3. He wants to have a boy and a girl and be done. But at this point, I'll take whatever we get. Evelyn, what do you do to remain positive? You know, I try to have a really positive outlook on life. And there have been times in my life that has been really hard. And I know that I haven't really shared a whole bunch about, you know, my backstory, but especially there was about 4 to 5 years in high school and college that were really hard for me. I experienced one of my friends passing away when we were on vacation. My dad left, my parents got divorced, my mom had cancer, my mom died, just lots of different things. And through all of that, I think that the biggest thing that has helped me to always be positive is my mom was the most amazing person that I've ever known. And she went through some hard stuff in her life. Her dad died when she was really young. He was killed by a drunk driver, and she was in the car behind when it happened, so she saw that. And then just lots of other things have happened in her life that were just really hard. But she loved the Lord, and she just loved the Lord. And she always could say that even the worst things God can use for the best things. And so I was always taught that growing up. And I really got to see her live that out when her and my dad got divorced. And then when her cancer came back, I was really able to see her really live out the fact that even though this is really crappy, the Lord can use it for good. And so I try to remind myself that even on the days when I don't really want to be positive, because I mean, life is hard sometimes. And so while I may always seem positive in my YouTube videos and on Instagram and stuff, that doesn't mean I'm happy-go-lucky 100% of the time. But I do think that one of my favorite quotes is, every day may not be good, but there is good in every day. And so I really think that if we try to focus on those positive things, that it helps us to have a positive spirit and a positive heart. And I also think that my hope in Jesus also helps me to be positive. So that was kind of like a really personal answer, and I'm sorry for diving into it that much. But Rachel, are you and Mr. Kell have a plan? Planning on having kids? Apparently y'all really want us to have kids. If so, do you have any names picked out? We do have names picked out, but I'm not going to share those, because if we have kids, I will share them then. Megan from Simply Megan XO wants to know, what would you attribute to having the most success in your Kellofaplan platform? YouTube, Instagram, blog, Happy Planner design team, etc. So I think that I first started just with an Instagram, and then I added in the blog, but the blog never really took off. And then I made the Happy Planner design team, and that definitely helped, because we put their name out there, but they also put our name out there. And so that helped a lot. But I will say, when I made my YouTube channel is when I feel like Kellofaplan really started to explode and bring in a lot of other people to who I am. So I would say that YouTube probably is the reason that Kellofaplan has the most success, and YouTube is definitely why Kellofaplan can be a part-time business, because it's really the only platform that brings in money for me. Because Instagram, I don't get paid for that. Design team, I don't get paid for that. So YouTube is really where the payment, the business part, has come in. You guys are seriously nosy about our babies, because here's another question. Are Kell babies ever something you would consider? Yes. We have considered it a lot. Okay. So that's the end of the personal questions. And then we have 2 Lularoe questions, so I'm going to answer those really fast. First, how did you start selling Lularoe? Did you and your sister both agree on the business venture? So I started buying the clothes in December of 2015, and I loved them. And then I introduced my sister to them. And then in December, same month, one day we were hanging out, and I was like, I think we could sell this. And she's like, oh my God, I was about to say the same thing. So we kind of talked to our dad about starting a business. My dad's like a really big entrepreneur type person, and so he kind of helped us start it. And then I actually chickened out because it was right when I had started this YouTube channel, and I was like, it's too much, I can't do this too. So I actually chickened out, but she went ahead and launched, and she did the business for 2 months by herself, and then it was just taking off for her, and I was like, I have to do this. And so I joined in with her, and we turned it into an LLC business, 50-50 partners, and yeah. And then someone else says, do you ship to Australia, and is it possible to be a rep here? Right now, you can only be a retailer if you live in Canada or the United States, and we do not ship to Australia. I'm sorry. We only ship to U.S. addresses. So, I am sorry, May. That was from Hello May blog. Okay, so those are all of the questions. I can't believe I got through them all. Thank you so much for submitting your questions. If you liked this and you liked hearing me answer questions, let me know, and maybe we could turn this into a monthly thing or an every other month thing. If you have any other questions for me, you could drop them below, and I will try to answer those for you as well. If you like this video, I hope you'll hit the like button. If you want to see more of my videos, hit that subscribe button, and happy planning.